Diminutive do. I'm Josh.
And I'm Shae.
And today we are talking about the diminutive man. Okay, I have to say it. Gary Coleman, every time I looked up Gary Coleman, they always use this word. And everyone, it means extremely small.
Yeah.
Small feature, small person. Guys, Gary Coleman was 4'8". He's a short individual.
Yeah.
Just call him short. He's not going to mind.
No.
This word diminutive makes me feel bad.
I'd feel bad.
I think if I was him, they're like, hey, you're that diminutive guy. Don't use that word.
Yeah.
It's degrading.
At that point, yeah, it's like you're not even saying, oh, you're not even worthy of being called short.
Yeah, you can't be short. You're not a dwarf or a midget. You can't be that.
You're a diminutive.
You know why he was short, by the way?
Nope.
Oh, let me dig some knowledge.
As I
on
told you, I did no research.
So do you even know who Gary Coleman is?
I know who he is.
Okay, so who is Gary Coleman to you?
Some random guy, honestly.
An actor.
Yeah.
Okay, Gary Coleman, at the age of 10, became a child star sensation on TV for the show Different Strokes, which is where he got his tagline, what you talking about, Willis?
Huh?
What you talking about, Willis? So when you hear people say, what you talking about, Willis? They're using Gary Coleman's tagline from the show Different Strokes. Funny thing about Gary Coleman, when he was young, he was born and he was adopted by people. In the show Different Strokes, he was adopted by a rich white man. Two little black boys.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. African Americans, if you will. If you're not from Africa and you weren't American, you just started off American. Sorry, you're American. I'm not going to call you African American. Besides the point. Anyways, so he's born into this and he gets picked up by it. And this show was very popular for that catch line. What you talking about, Willis?
Oh, everyone's.
It was in a time when it's okay to be a person of color. Not really great times, but not bad. It's getting better.
It's not the worst.
Yeah, it's just the worst. It's getting better, but yeah, so it's one of those kind of things. So he gets wildly popular because of this show, Different Strokes. He goes on to have another movie that was made and a TV show that spun off of it. It was called The Gary Coleman Show. Mm-hmm. It was about a little boy who, I think he was an angel at one point in time. I didn't do a whole lot of research. I didn't care about the show. It didn't make big money. I say that after the cancellation of Different Strokes in 86, though. So 86. So you know kind of the time. It's good times, but it's still bad times. He turned to his trust fund, which was estimated to hold nearly $18 million. So when he lost his job as Different Strokes, he was supposed to go and his parents were supposed to be taking care of him, putting money away for him in a trust fund. He started, when he got big in Different Strokes, he started his own broadcast company, which was his managers were his mom and his dad, who were supposed to take care of everything for him, and it was his own company kind of thing. When he turned, he was supposed to hold $18 million. Coleman, nearly 18 years old at the time, when it finished, it went about 8 years. He started at 10, got 18. Discovered that only $220,000 went in the fund. Should have had $18 million in it. Only had $220,000.
Mom and Dad better be talking.
The discovery resulted in a tangled lawsuit against his parents and his agent for misappropriation of his trust fund. Although he won the suit, Coleman saw little of his initial salary, receiving only $3.8 million.
Only.
As an 18-year-old, you have $3.8 million in 1986. That's a ton of money.
That's a ton of money. But at the same time, I would still be mad, like, where's my other?
No, you're missing a lot of money. But let's just be honest. You've got enough to live.
You've got enough.
Even if you didn't take another acting job, you've got enough to live the rest of your life if you do it smart.
Yes.
Coleman did not.
No.
He lost all of his money. He did TV spots where when he got older, he was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was on a couple other shows. And he was just he was Gary Coleman. It was important, what you're talking about, Willis. It was his tagline. They would use him for his child star ability. Unfortunately, he declared bankruptcy in 1993, something like that. Just shortly after, not very long. Yeah. 1-star rating because I don't know the date. But he lost all of it, and he had to take jobs. He ended up working as a security guard. No, it's okay to laugh. In America, you got to get over this. Laugh if it's funny. Because a 4'8" security man coming at you is funny. You're going to laugh at that. What you talking about, Willis? I'm talking about leaving you in the dust, you short-legged dude.
I can just imagine him running with like a club.
Yeah.
What you running at, Willis?
What you running for, Willis? You can't catch me. I'm just saying, it's funny. It's okay to laugh at things that are funny. People have forgotten this. A 4'8" security guard is funny.
That's I expect to see that in a sitcom.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's like Danny DeVito running at you. You're gonna laugh at that, especially Danny DeVito. Man, that dude's chubby. He's a chubby individual.
He has the best voice.
I mean, we're chubby individuals. We can say when someone's chubby.
Yeah.
So, Gary Coleman, he had problems.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's had problems with his health his whole life. He had his first liver transplant when he was, I believe, 12. Yeah. Another one when he was 17. So he's going through. The reason he got stunted at growth was because he had a very weird form of medical. I can't remember what they called it. I didn't write it down for some reason.
Mm-hmm. 1 out of 5.
Another 1 out of 5. There it is. He had a problem with his medical stuff, and it stunted his growth from his liver being transplanted twice.
Yeah.
Did I say liver or kidney?
Said liver.
Liver. Should be the liver. Probably kidney. Let's just say one of those two. They're both important, but
yeah.
Another 1-star review for that one.
You could live with just one kidney. It just kind of rough.
Yeah, so he had to replace it twice, and it was a big deal. It stunted his growth because it had to be the liver. Still tugging on it. Stunted his growth at 4'8", making him not quite a midget. I mean, technically in California, he would now be considered a dwarf. Yeah. At the time, there was no such thing.
I think 4'9" is when you get the.
Yeah, something like that. So he lost a lot of it. I'll get to that in a minute. How he dies and his health issues. Coleman, however, was hot-headed. Short man complex times 5.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was fast. He was mad. He was known for his hot temper, which resulted in several high-profile assault cases. These are a few.
I'm ready.
In 1998, he was charged with.
Birthday.
Yeah, he was charged with assault after allegedly punching a woman who sought an autograph from him. She wanted an autograph, so he punched her. Excuse me, Mr. Coleman, you diminutive man, can you give me an autograph? Alleged. He pled no contest to the charge and was ordered to pay the victim's hospital bills. Yes, I said it. Hospital bills. He hit her so hard she went to the hospital in July.
I have been hit pretty hard.
And hit pretty good, but I've never had to go to the hospital because I got punched.
I've been flipped off a quad and hit a tree, and a quad landed on me, and I walked it off.
There are a few conspiracies. This is starting to allude to one of them, is that he is a super strong individual. I will talk about conspiracies afterwards, but notice, one punch to a woman sent her to the hospital. Just saying. Some people are a little sensitive, but one punch, hospital. In 2007, Coleman was again arrested, this time for disorderly conduct when a heated argument with his girlfriend, actress Shannon Price, notice, girlfriend, not wife, girlfriend Shannon Price, got out of control. Despite their difficulties, the couple wed secretly in August of that same year, but by 2008, they were already having marital problems. They headed to TV's, because this is always where you go, divorce court, to settle their issues, airing their grievances for audiences in May of 2008. So 1 year later.
The money.
1 year later, you're on divorce court. The couple would stay together, and a year later, they would again be embroiled in a domestic dispute. Both parties were cited for disorderly conduct, but these conflicts with the law didn't resonate with Coleman. And in 2010, he was charged with domestic violence again and placed in jail overnight. So we have a reoccurring theme.
Yeah.
He hates women.
Yeah, he hits them pretty good.
He hates them. He's going to hit them. He's going to argue with them. He's going to get mad with them. Remember this for later. He does not like women.
Yes.
Now, this is how he died. He suffered a seizure on the set of The Insider on February 2006. February 26, 2010. Then on May 26, 2010, he was admitted to Utah Valley Regional Medical Center in Provo, Utah. After a fall in his home, Gary Coleman died on the 28th of May 2010 at the age of 42. Long life for a man that size.
Yeah.
After suffering from an intracranial hemorrhage in Provo, Utah. So, he has a seizure in February of the same year, and in May, so just a few months later,
or whatever,
he has cranial damage and is killed.
Yes.
Now, here's how this actually went down for the death. His wife, we'll just call him his girlfriend because she had secretly married him.
Yes.
Nobody could contest this. He gets up to go downstairs for something. As he's going downstairs, she hears a thud. This is her report. She calls 911 after she sees him on the ground. They have reports of her talking. She's saying, oh my gosh, he fell. There's a lot of blood on the ground. I can't look at him. He's got too much blood on him. I'm freaking out about the blood. And the lady goes, you need to go check on him. So she finally, after several minutes, is calmed down enough to go down there and check on him. He's unconscious at the time. So there's a lot of blood. There's a gash in his head. He fell down the stairs. She goes, I need you to check on him, make sure he's breathing. He was. She checks his, gives him some reps. She gets blood all over herself. She goes, I can't handle it. I can't do this. There's blood on me now. I'm freaking out. Just freaking out for no reason. She can't stand the blood on her.
Yeah.
On the phone, she goes, I just don't want him to die, but I can't touch him. So this is a little strange, but whatever. Paramedics show up. He's conscious now, able to talk to him. He walks to the ambulance, talks to them the whole time, no problem. They take him to the Valley Regional Medical Center. He slips into a coma. 2 days later, he dies. But he didn't die on his own. Miss Price, who, as far as we know, is only his girlfriend, not really married, secretly married, remember, gives the order to pull the plug off of life support. He was in a coma, he was on life support, and it killed him. There is no record of her having authority of a attorney or whatever, when you kill somebody. No record of that. No record of marriage. She has no way to say she could kill him. She just shows them the idea of who she is, and they listen to her, and she kills him. Okay, so there's a few things about conspiracy there. It's possible that Mrs. Price might have pushed Gary Coleman down the stairs.
I can believe that.
He hits his head at the bottom, but at the very least, she terminated life support when she wasn't supposed to. Mm-hmm. It should have fallen on her parents. Her parents now have, or his parents now have a lawsuit against her. They're trying to get money out of her for what she possibly would have retained for the death. So he dies from internal hemorrhage in his head after going into a coma and being pulled off life support. Mm-hmm. Now, the conspiracies start taking over.
Of course. Around this time, you'd expect.
As always, right?
I'm ready. Hit me hard.
The first conspiracy, that was she killed him. That we discussed that.
Yes.
Second conspiracy, he was at the grassy knoll.
The what?
The grassy knoll, where JFK was killed in Austin, Texas. There's a grassy knoll right there. He is the one that killed him. Now, this would seem very strange and very odd, except for the very plain fact that JFK was killed in 1953, and Coleman wasn't born until 1958. So there's some time there when he's not alive. However, there is a way that it deals with the other conspiracy theory about him, that he can manipulate time and space. Thus, Gary Coleman never truly died. He is just manipulating time and space.
He just shed his mortal form.
And moving from space to space. That being said, they say he was the one that killed JFK at the grassy knoll.
I'm going to love this.
Because he can manipulate time, he went back in time to kill JFK for no uncertain reason other than the fact that he's an evil individual. That's one conspiracy.
Okay.
Now, stemming off that conspiracy is another conspiracy that a lot of people believe, and that is he can manipulate time and space, and thus many murders that are unexplained, unexplainable, happened to be killed by Gary Coleman. They find small footprints, they find certain death ways, mostly women, killed by somebody, not sure who.
What did JFK do?
He was sleeping with Marilyn Monroe. Maybe Gary Coleman had a soft spot for her.
Doubt it.
And then killed JFK, and funny, somebody else got killed right after that who was sleeping with Marilyn Monroe. Who was that? That's right, JFK's younger brother, also sleeping with Marilyn Monroe. Then after the two-time cheating whore, sorry, not true, but that's the way they would phrase it, after she had JFK, both JFKs, both Kennedys, then Coleman comes back to finish the deal on Marilyn Monroe, who died mysteriously. That is another crazy theory. And every kind of case you see for serial killers and things of that nature, where there's unexplained deaths around the world, there's always kind of a small possibility that if a time-manipulating, space-manipulating Gary Coleman could do this, in fact, he could be the result of many murders of women and men. I lean towards that one. If I'm going to believe a conspiracy, the man can manipulate time and space. And it's funny how always small shoe prints show up at some of these scenes. that cannot be traced to anybody. I'm just saying. The conspiracy's out there. And that is what I have for Gary Coleman. Not a whole lot happened in between there. He did some special shows. He had some jobs that he held down. Always having trouble with money and his anger and things of that nature. Filed for bankruptcy once, you know. So he went through 3.3 million very fast, or 3.8 million very fast. And so, you know, it's the hard knock life for him. I'm just saying, it was a difficult time. Originally, this is the only thing I thought was very funny. Originally, he was cast for it was supposed to be a secondary reinstallment of the Little Rascals, which was terminated way early. He said, you know what? No, the guy who casted him, he's like, it didn't work out. They cut the movie funding, but because of his personality and the way he looked, he was perfect for the TV role of Different Strokes. To you, Gary Coleman. One last thing will be left on the audio. We did really good on this one. We went really fast.
Yeah. What are we even at?
It's at 16 minutes.
Oh, damn.
It's not a whole lot, guys. If you look at the life of Gary Coleman, he's a big star. He's went through a lot of stuff. He did a lot of things. But there's just not a whole lot of stuff to really talk about. I mean, I'm sure if I did hours and hours and hours and hours of research, I could find something really special and really divulge into some stuff.
If we had the time.
But honestly, you guys just want to know what happened with his life. He was born. He was adopted. He was made into a TV movie star. He was supposed to be a movie star. He started as a TV star because of Different Strokes. He gets big. He makes a lot of money. His parents and agents screw him over. He loses his money. He gets some money back from suing his parents and his agent. He lives his life at 18, loses all the money, goes into doing normal everyday jobs, gets a job as security guard, hilarious by the way, and then, you know, he has a girl that he really likes, he goes in and out of relationships with women, and always getting mad, always having domestic disputes, and this is just kind of the way his life gravitates towards until the very end when he dies. And by the way, can I point out real quick that, A, he was always having domestic dispute, but then, B, possibly the woman who killed him was that of the person that was probably getting beat up. Just saying, there's a lot of things in the middle of this that just kind of muddle it up, and then she pulls him off life support. I don't know if she pushed him. I just think it's kind of odd that he just falls down the stairs. Maybe he had a seizure before he fell down the stairs, but then he was completely coherent. No big deal. He's talking and he gets in the ambulance on his own fruition. There's a lot of weird things. And then after that, it's a lot of just craziness. If there is no such thing as time manipulation and space manipulation, there's no way for Mr. Man of Gary Coleman to make his way to the grassy knoll, nor his way to be alive at the moment. That being said, a little strange. Do your own research. Comment in the sections below to tell us what you think about what we brought to you, what you think about Mr. Coleman yourself.
You know, my mind has been changed.
It's very interesting, isn't it? I mean, there's a little bit of just kind of maybe possibly. And then, of course, as you look on there's also that really thumbs up button. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. If you liked how short it was, leave it in the comment section below and say, it fit my schedule perfectly. And if you like the sword, give it another thumbs up. And, of course, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to us. In this very special YouTube universe, we need those subscribers. We need to let you know when we upload.
Yes.
There's something else that you sometimes tell us to do that I don't really know.
Yes. You know, I was kind of thrown off with a phone call. What do you get?
It's the D.
Oh, it's code red now. No, it's the dislike button. There it is.
That's what it is. Dislike. I don't really want you to do that, but he doesn't mind it. If you are subscribed.
Technically, so far, in 2 dudes to do history, we have not gotten a single dislike.
Bam. Oh, man. You know what's going to happen on this one now. Everybody, it was too short. But if you do subscribe to us and you're watching this video and you don't have the little notification bells going, you should make sure to have that going. At the very moment, it will tell you when we upload. At any point in time, you'll get a notification on your phone. Thought that was coming at me. And of course, if you're not just all into YouTube, but you follow us on other things, there's a Facebook. Yes. There is an Instagram.
There is a Twitter right there.
And there's Patreon. That's where you can support us to help us drink some dew, get some cool stuff for you guys to see, and of course, you know, if we get enough Patreon members, stickers and all kinds of fun stuff, merchandise, and of course the happy birthday.
That's the most important part.
You get a special call on the audio there. You get to talk to us.
And I can't wait until they
sooner rather than later. Yeah. So, thank you guys for stopping by for 2 Dudes with Do.
And rightly so.
Yeah.
Sure.
You do.
You know, Gary Coleman.
What if Paul was Gary Coleman? Whoa, 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 whoa! Drink Dew every day. Don't kill me, Paul.
Or Gary Coleman.